welcome to Left Night with Kendra Dawsey. And now here's your host, Kendra Dawsey.
Hey everyone. Hey Zach, how are you doing today?
Oh, you know. How are you?
I'm eating Domino's pizza in a bathrobe. How the fuck do you think I'm doing?
Okay, yeah, my usual coffee has been replaced with a cocktail.
Hell yeah.
I feel like we deserve it this week.
I feel like if you're surviving so far in 2021, you deserve a drink, no matter how old you are. You could be an infant. Just like if you're the mom of that infant, just put a little bit of wine on your nipple. Let the baby have fun, you know?
I guess that's fun for a baby.
I'm sure the baby will be like, oh, I'm extra sleepy tonight, you know, who knows?
So I don't know where you're gonna come up with anything, but by chance, is there something that you're thinking about a lot this week?
I am thinking about a few things this week, Zach. Thank you so much for asking. So, hello everyone. Obviously, welcome back to the second season of Left Night. There has been a lot going on since we last left you, including me getting this robe, which I keep forgetting to take this little tag off of, but it's all good. So, obviously, there's a lot going on politically right now with the whole attempted fascist insurrection and everything, and we'll get to that later. But first, here's another way that America is dying slowly. So it's 2021, brand new year, and the US is still in the throes of the coronavirus pandemic. In late December, media announced that 2 vaccines were approved for use. However, the capitalist state of America is woefully unprepared for distribution. Dr. Stephen Sack from the Kentucky Department of Public Health has straight up said, "We overpromised and underdelivered as a nation. And we only got a third of what we were going to get based on the initial modeling." Nurses at Mass General Brigham here in Massachusetts described the system for vaccine rollout as a free-for-all, relying on a self-reported honor code to reach the workers that need it most. And obviously, rich people never lie to get ahead, which is why they decided to do an honor code. Duh. In New York, Governor Andrew Cuomo, you know, the one that white ladies thought was hot like the first month of quarantine, is fining hospitals for unused doses, but is also thinking of fining hospitals who let individuals jump the line, which seems to place hospitals in between a rock and a hard place. And I don't really think there's really good PPE there. And all of this nonsense is completely aside from the fact that the people of America have fucked up ideas. A pharmacist in Wisconsin purposely wasted 500 doses of the coronavirus vaccine because he thought it could change people's DNA, kind of like a Fantastic Four fanfic written by QAnon. This is a whole-ass medical professional, right? Like, what is your high school bully who now sells leggings for crystals supposed to think? You think she knows about the vaccine? No, she's going to be like, oh, it's going to turn me into a crocodile. Let me just continue creating my MLM scheme. Anyway, there are a lot of problems now. 2021, doesn't seem to be getting off on a great start, but I'm sure eventually, at some point, a lot of people will be able to get vaccinated against COVID-19, just in time for the next disease from melting Arctic ice to fuck over the entire world. And maybe then, just then, we'll finally learn that the best vaccine is the friends we made along the way. And now we'll cut to a commercial break. Thank you, everyone.
Are you feeling overwhelmed? A little on edge? Are you tired of existing in the combination civil unrest, pandemic, climate collapse, society falling? Well, here's a new fun thing you could try to get your mind off things. Drinking. That's right. Drinking, while giving you a higher incidence of many diseases in the long term, will solve all of your short-term problems. And isn't that what's important right now? Drinking. Just ignore the news and keep fucking doing it.
All right.
All right. Hell yeah.
I wonder who paid for that ad.
Yeah, I wonder if it was
Drinking Alliance
trying to sell more alcohol to we don't depend on them.
I mean, I see a lot of alcohol ads, but they're usually branded to a specific brand. That was just for the idea of drinking. All right.
Yeah, they all team together. They finally have learned that competition is not good.
Right.
They team together and just drink whatever you want. Just
Right.
drink.
They've gotten over their differences. Which I'm happy. That's optimistic, I think.
I know, right? Maybe it's like some maybe if the alcohol companies have learned to reach across the aisle, maybe we could do it too, you know? Just maybe.
Maybe. So this is usually the portion of the show where we get into sort of the things that happened this week. We're going to do things a little bit different this week because there was one big thing that we want to talk about.
Yeah.
So if you really wanted to hear my opinions on Marty Walsh becoming Secretary of Labor, you're going to have to wait till next week. Everything else gets pushed back. We got to talk about the damn MAGAs in the Capitol building yesterday. There's no fun like Cheeto in the White House, like hack comic name for it.
Yeah, we can't be like, oh, like Cheetolini, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's no, it's just straight up fascists breaking into a government building. That's what
Right. Which is, and I'm glad you called. So first of all, just for our fans, we still want to hear what you're thinking about. There's a lot to talk about this. So if you have any feelings, it's been a weird week. Let us know what you're thinking about.
Yeah, tell us your feelings, everyone.
Yeah, tell us where you are on this. Hopefully you're not pro-fascist, but I mean we need viewers where we'll get them.
If you're pro-fascist, get all your fascist friends to watch it and just increase our viewership, but don't dox me.
Right. Well, I'm glad, first of all, that we're one of the few reputable news sources. We got a great comment there from Tina, one of our esteemed viewers.
Yeah,
I agree.
Thank you, Tina, for the extended key smashing. I feel the same way.
Right. What body part do you think that was? Head,
maybe elbow.
Elbows, I think. That makes sense. No, but I'm glad we're referring it on this esteemed show as fascist, because like there were a lot of them were calling them protesters, and then other people were like, oh, they're not protesters, they're this is insurrection, or these are rioters, these are terrorists, or whatever.
Yeah.
And to me, that like when you get into that sort of discourse about what exact word you use for what they're doing, you're then implying that there's like a certain level of like a certain level of courtesy, at which point like under this threshold fascism is okay. I know a lot of fascists, but these fascists cross the line. There's no amount of decorum that would make a gathering of MAGA people who want to dispute an election. There's no decorum to that, at which point it becomes acceptable.
Yeah, definitely. And I could see some people were making some points, like with terrorism, a lot of people were like, this has been used as an excuse to increase like surveillance towards like people who are not white supremacists. And it's like playing into mass government surveillance and stuff. And then there's a lot of discourse about what exactly to call them. Regardless, they did bad things. They were
fascists. So
they're fascists. Like
number one bullet point of why I don't like them.
Fascist, right? Yeah. And I was thinking this is like the lamest reason to storm a government building, like we
right.
For legal reasons, that's a joke. But if you had told me that some people would storm a government building, I would be like, oh, I hope they're protesting, staging a sit-in so that we get appropriate checks for everyone in the nation, so that we have Medicare for all. No, they just wanted Trump to be president longer. It's like,
right.
What?
Right. Which rules as well, because some stations were referring to them as anarchists, and it's like that's not
what it is.
That's not what anarchists want. They don't want more President Trump.
Yes. And also, anarchists smell different. Okay, I'm sure those MAGA guys smelled like Axe and Monster. Monster red drink. Anarchists smell like tofu and lentil soup. It's very, I mean, there's a lot of differences obviously between anarchist and fascist.
Right.
But yeah, anarchists are really chill. I usually just see them like giving out food to anyone, giving out food to people, you know, trying to support people, mutual aid projects, all of that, discoursing online, but being like, you know what, we may have differences between like the like communists and between the like blah blah blah, but like we all come together. Fascists just like yell at people about rant and then fly like fucking racist ass flags, like you know, like
like I have disagreements with anarchists in terms of how we reach a classless, stateless society.
Yeah,
but none of that has to do with what was going on the, you know, in DC yesterday.
Yeah. Anarchists would be way better at that, you know? Like, also they wouldn't do it for Trump.
Right. Well, that's like one of those things. Like, I don't know. We can hit the ejector button on this one if it goes somewhere that we don't want it to go. But like, an actual anarchist killed an actual president, and we don't talk about that.
Oh wait, which one?
Leon Sologos, who was the guy who assassinated McKinley, was an anarchist.
Oh, okay.
And we don't really talk about that. And
I didn't know that, honestly.
It's one of the ones we don't like. In particular, we don't talk about the assassination of Garfield or McKinley because they're not interesting, I guess.
Yeah, I forgot. We focus on Lincoln because it's like, oh my God, he died because like he saved the blacks and like one person didn't like it.
Right. Yes. And we focus on Kennedy because, you know, the CIA did it.
Yeah, and then like Reagan, there was a Reagan attempt because like some dude was trying to get the attention of a famous lesbian.
Yes.
Some psychotic dude was trying to get attention of a famous lesbian, decided to shoot him, which like again,
right.
Yeah.
But I guess, and maybe that's why we don't talk about, other than the fact that like nobody cares about McKinley, maybe because there are like serious political reasons, like why that assassination happened, like that are sort of outside the frame of how we like to talk about our history. Maybe that's why we don't talk about it, because then we have to talk about like what was the anarchist movement and like what kind of society did anarchists like see it as being. So that's probably why we don't talk about it. But I mean, we have very much allowed sort of the ideology of John Wilkes Booth to continue to be a part of the American psyche.
Yeah.
But we do not have the same
the same backing behind anarchism. Yeah.
Right.
Maybe it's because anarchism often you know, tries to come out as explicitly white supremacist. Who knows? Or explicitly anti-white supremacist. Sorry. Who knows?
Right. Maybe terrorist ideologies that support white supremacy are coddled in this country.
Maybe.
And the ones that try to destroy it are largely ignored or oppressed.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? I don't know. It's just a guess, you know.
I mean, also the other thing I know about the McKinley assassination is how he did it was that he pretended he had a broken arm and like just put a gun under a bandage on his hand, and then just came out.
I shouldn't laugh at that.
It's not a bandage; it's a gun, which you would not be able to do that today. So
you wouldn't.
There's not even a worry that we're going to inspire anything.
I was about to say, like, we at Left Nite do not condone assassinations. Please do not put a gun in a fake bandage and then aim it at the president.
We don't condone it, and it won't work.
It won't work. So don't.
You can prioritize those two statements any way that you want, but they are both true.
You're so right. So we have some comments in the thread. Tina Talon says, apparently someone was flying a flag from Georgia, the country, not Georgia, the state. This is true.
I saw
people don't know that there's a Georgia like nation state that is separate from the country, or sorry, there's a nation state. There's a country separate from the state. Like there's a whole as nation state, and I guess they were just mad that like a black person and a Jewish person like won some Senate seats in Georgia, as if like why. As if like those people just aren't in Georgia. It's not like Georgia's like 30% black or anything, right?
I mean, I have to assume that because that result came out that morning, so I have to assume they bought the flag. But I was actually, because I had nothing, like I couldn't focus on anything. I was just trying to count how many different flags I could see, because obviously these people, big fans of state rights, so all kinds of state flags showing up there.
Yep.
Lots of state. I counted. I think I saw about 10 different state flags in the thing, and then I just saw just so many just gaudy versions of the American flag.
Yeah.
Just like and already just like just an awful looking flag that is just that just like represents so much like bad stuff.
Yeah.
And you still also have to, like, cut half of it off and like Frankenstein it with a Confederate flag,
or like a Gadsden flag.
Yeah. I saw one that had a big like somebody put an eagle over the American flag, or like a flag that said Trump 2020 and then had a miniature American flag on that flag.
That's stupid. And also, like no art school, but the American flag has bad graphic design. Betsy Ross was not on her A game when she did that shit. Like, we need a redo. We need a rebrand. If the CIA could rebrand, so could the American flag. I want some hot pink. I want some bisexual lighting colors.
Right. Oh yes.
Yeah.
Or like the laser background that they had in like school pictures.
Yeah, that's what I want in my imperialist flag.
You have a favorite national flag?
What'd you say?
Do you have a favorite national flag?
Where's some flags? Jamaica's flag.
Jamaica's a very good one.
Honestly, like there's a lot of shades of like blue that I feel like are played out in flags of nation states. Mm-hmm. So I would say I like Jamaica's flag. I'm trying to think. So actually, one person brought up someone was flying the national flag of India. I am not sure. I'm not 100% sure why. I mean, there's definitely, India is also complicated. Like, as we talked about on the show, there is like also, you know, suppression of like labor rights in the proletariat. There's also like a caste hierarchy and stuff. And like, you know, Modi is like into Trump. Like they'd probably like make out at a party if they met. But I don't know why he was flying the Indian national flag. I
mean, I also saw a flag of Israel, and in India, Israel, and the United States have a few things in common in terms of what their leaders are trying to accomplish.
Yeah, man, what a threesome. So Rachel says which one has or Raj Andelman, I don't know who that is.
Rachel
says which one has the trident, Barbados, and I think
that is Barbados.
Yeah, I want a trident on my flag. Like what? No. And then Brazil does currently have a fascist president, but they do have a good flag. That's a nice flag.
Cool. And it says something about the world on it. I can't remember something. It is a phrase in Portuguese on it.
Yeah, it's Portuguese.
Yes. And then the other one I want to. I'm also a big fan of South Korea. South Korea's got a good flag.
You're right.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would like. When inevitably Korea gets reunified, I think that they should mostly take North Korea's style of government, but South Korea, keep that flag.
Keep the flag. Just keep the flag. Yeah.
That's the one thing I will give to the capitalists. Better.
But yeah, yesterday was worrying. There's still people talking about flags. Yeah, yesterday was worrying. Fascists have bad graphic design, bad flags, and I don't know if the Democrats are going to do anything about the fascists. So maybe we should think about doing something with. We could dox the fascists. They were very proud about putting their fate. They were like, "Hi, my name is Jim Bob Robinson from Arlington, West Virginia, and I took this piece of mail from Nancy Pelosi's desk." You know, like just find them, tell them
Yeah.
I like the fascism, fuck the flag. Thank you, Key Smash. But yeah, it's just very, it's rough. It's very rough. So
yeah, no, and that's why, and I understand why people are doing it, but like I have seen enough comparisons of like, oh, if Black Lives Matter was doing this, if this was a group of Black people, it would be very different. If these were not white, at this point, I think we all get that, and I think if you are just realizing now that we are in a white supremacist state, you are a baby. And like we can sit here and make comparisons about how different people would be treated, or we can do something about the fact that we live in a white supremacist state. Like everybody is aware at this point. It's about what are we going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't necessarily have an answer that won't get this Twitch stream banned.
Yeah, we're gonna need to do something. I mean, yeah, I feel the same. Something needs to be done. To everyone out there watching, protect your communities. You know, mutual aid projects are important during this time. Just be careful. Yeah, I think that things are scary. I think that's my analysis. Things are scary.
I do want to pour one out for some real ones. The guy who tasered himself and died.
Yes, he tasered himself in the nuts. He tasered himself in the dick and died. That is who we are dealing with. Those are
confirmed, because I feel like that's like a hat on it. That just makes it even funnier, but almost to a point where I don't believe it anymore.
Yeah, I honestly, I haven't heard that from like a news source. I did hear it from two people. You know what? What? Let's rewrite history. Even if he didn't tase himself in the dick,
right?
What does it matter? Just call him Tase Dick Man.
Some guy who, like, they found a bunch of pictures of him with his guns. Like, I dare Black Lives Matter to come to my neighborhood, and he died of a heart attack from too much excitement.
I feel so bad. Ooh,
that guy was real. Oh, that real tough guy was just ready to die. And then there was the woman who got shot, and some people are really surprised to find out that she was a former member of the military.
Yeah, she was a former member of the military, and
or a baby, if that is surprising to you.
A what? Oh, yes, yeah. I think she was also used to be a police officer, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if it was both. And her name was Ashley, but spelt in a really annoying way. So there were 4 deaths. One was someone who was shot, and the other 3 were, I think one person was someone who like climbed over the Capitol like walls and like fell wrong. I feel like I'm gonna get canceled for laughing, but like
I think I think somebody got like Black Friday stomped. I heard too.
Really?
Maybe it's the same one. Like they got over the walls and like people just trampled them. I don't know.
Yeah.
These are all unreported. I saw something before we went on air that maybe a cop might have died, and so that's unconfirmed. Any other funny way somebody might have died that we don't know about?
I don't know. I think
tried to eat the congressional seal. I'm gonna say nobody. No, I just made it up.
Oh, I was like, did that? Listen, I know we don't have too much time left. I will say, people I know who are immigrants from like countries that we have cooed. Like we being like the United States nation state, I'm too young to throw a coup. But like people from countries that have been cooed by the United States are like, yo, this is terrifying, but it's also kind of hilarious. Like this is the most bootleg, like an inefficient, bizarre coup attempt.
Right.
Yeah, so like
and the fact that assholes like Jake Tapper can't stop saying this is the type of thing that happens in other countries. It doesn't happen in our country. Well, motherfucker, who do you think makes it happen in other countries?
Exactly. It's like the chickens coming home to roost, okay? But we have just 2 minutes left, so Zach, I'm going to leave it to you with some closing remarks.
Right. Okay. So you probably heard a lot of people talking about the Constitution in the last couple of days, and I want to lay down a pretty simple explanation of the Constitution, and it's this. The Constitution sucks. It's a bad document. And how do I know it's bad? Well, it's the founding governing document of this country, and this country looks the way it does now. It speaks of high ideals, but it means nothing. Let's say you bought a crib for your newborn infant. You take out the directions, and the directions say, this is how you make the crib. And as you're putting together this crib, you start to realize this looks less like a crib and more like an industrial meat grinder. But then there's a bunch of originalists who say, no, that's just because you're interpreting the crib wrong. Of course you got that idea because you don't know how it's supposed to be. That's why it looks like it's supposed to grind up this baby. And then there's the liberals who are like, no, if it's a living document, and if we get 3/4 of the states to agree, we can put some padding where the blades are to avoid slicing up the infants. But then I'm over here just like, why do we need this thing at all? Can't we just put the baby somewhere else instead of in this meat grinder? And I'm the asshole because other people have a lot of feelings about this stupid meat grinder baby killer creature just because, I don't know, because they grew up with it. So all I'm saying is that we don't need the Constitution anymore. It's very racist. It's not that powerful because in 1870 they gave equal rights and voting rights to black people, and it was like 90-something years before any of that was enforced. So it's not even that fucking good at doing what it's supposed to fucking do. It's supposed to say no illegal search and seizure, but there's like 1,000 different caveats for that. When we invade Iraq and take them over, we did not give them our constitution. We gave them a parliament. So we don't even believe in it that much that we give it to anybody else. And if you don't like it, well, then I'm going to justify what I'm saying using the 9th Amendment of the Constitution, which says, the enumeration of the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people. So basically what that means is that just because it's not in the Constitution doesn't mean it's not a right. And for me, I believe that means it is my right to not abide by nor respect the Constitution. The Constitution says I can throw the Constitution in the trash, so I will do it. Not because the Constitution says it, but because it doesn't say it, and also because whatever the Constitution says, I don't want to do, and it doesn't say that, so I will do it. I don't think that makes sense. I don't know if it makes sense. Fuck it. Trash the document. It sucks.
All right. Thank you, everyone, so much for watching. Coming up next is Quarantine Action Wrestling. Have a great rest of your night.
Bye, everybody.